So you haven't had enough travel?
No, I figured that I sleep at least 3 or 4 nights in my bed, so I should be on the road more.
So you went down to LA?
I did.
But this must be kind of fun too.
Yeah, it's a little bit different. TWiT's really been trying to reach out into some of the connected fields of technology, and the automotive industry has gone tech in a big way.
Oh, more tech than ever before. Is the Detroit Auto Show still the big auto show?
Oh, by far. The LA Auto Show is really an appetizer. It's not even an eighth the size of Detroit. All of the big players come to Detroit.
Detroit's next is in December.
It's
January.
It's in January. It's right after CES.
Right.
But what the LA Auto Show does is it gives us a West Coast access to a lot of the trends that we're going to be seeing at the Detroit Auto Show. And yeah, we saw them. I mean, yes, there were the blingy cars, there were the interesting concepts, there were the new models of vehicles, but you also got to see things like where autonomous vehicles are heading and where the new business models can be found.
You said that a lot of venture capitalists are down there looking at places to put money.
Yeah, Tim Stevens did an interview with us, and he was talking about this, that VCs have figured out that the Silicon Valley is a nice place to make money, but there's huge amounts of money to be made in automotive.
Right.
And this was an interesting point, investing money in a tech startup is not like investing money in an automotive startup. In a tech startup, you expect them to make mistakes. You expect them to release beta product. You
can't do that with a car.
You can't do that with a car. You can't say, "Oh, I'm sorry, you all died. It'll be better in the next version."
Next time, we're going to get that right.
Right.
Yeah.
So there is a learning curve that that the VC from Silicon Valley need to figure out. It's not an immediate return. In fact, the CEO of Ford, he basically said the same thing. He said, look, we've been in this game a long, long time. We know that there's a lot of money rushing into autonomous vehicles. That's not how you do it.
Right.
You can't just pour money into something. Ford, he said, look, we have seen in our past dumping money into something, thinking that we've missed the boat, and then that money gets wasted.
Yeah.
They're taking a much more measured approach to where do they want to invest. In fact, they're looking at investing money into like the sensor companies, because they realize every autonomous vehicle is going to need good sensors. So if they can corner the market on LiDAR and on sonar, on radar, they can make way more money than trying to rush into the entire, say, connected control unit field. Very smart.
Here's the Chevy Volt, the electric vehicles. Oh, and the Bolt, I'm very interested. The Bolt's coming out soon, right?
Yes, and it does have the range. People were wondering whether or not they'd be able to get the range they claimed. Absolutely. It's a nice vehicle. The Bolt and the Volt both look like Chevy they've got some of their mojo back. In fact, they are the #1 manufacturer of EVs. Now, this one I think you're going to like. This is a Tesla Model X towing an Airstream trailer.
Yeah.
And that Airstream trailer isn't just an Airstream trailer. The floor is actually a battery pack for the Tesla. So in plugging it in, you get extended range.
They've been driving that all over the country. I remember seeing that in Manhattan as well. Yeah, I don't know why. Is that a pink car?
That is the Pink Panther. That is Kara's favorite car. That's a car made for the 60s, a different time with a lot of shagging. That's the driver's seat, and then that back is just a cabin for entertaining.
With a big shag rug.
Yes, it is.
Was that ever driven, or is that just
They made 2 of them. They brought them to Europe. One got crashed. That was actually brought back by Mad Mike from Pimp My Ride. This is a BMW carbon fiber Paralympian vehicle.
Oh, that's neat.
They made this for the U.S. Paralympian team.
It's a racing wheelchair.
It's a racing wheelchair. And I mean, the technology that goes into this, it's actually amazing. They use computational fluid dynamics to figure out where they should put the different curves. And they had to create a design that would work for all the Paralympians and yet could be configurable for every Paralympian's particular disability. And it's an amazing piece of technology.
That is pretty cool.
I got to tell you, it was a very interesting chance for us to see some of these technologies that you don't normally associate with the automotive industry.
How about the Ollie? Did you see the Ollie?
We did. It's a big bus-looking device. It's an autonomous bus. It can fit 12 passengers. The whole idea is there are no controls. You type in your destination, it comes, you push the button, you get in, and it takes you there.
Well, we've done that. We've rented big, limo buses for holiday parties and things like that. Remember, we all went down to see The Wall, I think, in one of those. It'd be kind of cool. We could all get in the Ollie, and we wouldn't have a driver. That seems a little scary to me. I don't know if I'm ready to get in a car without a driver.
It will take time, but like right now in the Bay Area at Santa Clara University, there's a company called R Robotics that has developed something like the Ollie completely autonomous. They have someone sitting behind the wheel, but he doesn't do anything.
That's a good idea. Have somebody sitting behind the wheel.
Yeah, yeah.
Although, if you've been to Vegas, right, the monorail in Vegas has no driver. We just get in it, it just goes. Of course, it's on a rail, and there's no traffic.
And Tim Stevens did a fantastic job
from
CNET, from the Roadshow. He's got a wonderful show, the Roadshow, and he had a nice talk where he brought up some industry icons talking about autonomous vehicles.
Neat.
And they were all saying, look, this is a perception problem. People are freaking out because you're taking away the decision from the driver. But he said, look, if you've got a vehicle that was made after 1980, you have artificial intelligence already. It's called anti-lock braking.
Right.
When you hit that pedal, you're actually telling the computer you want to stop. The computer decides where to put the pressure, when to release the brakes, et cetera, et cetera.
Right. And it's a much better system than a human.
It's a much better system. So eventually we're going to get to this point where we're going to realize that if you're driving something like a Tesla, it's essentially autonomous as is.
Yeah. Well, I actually... now, having had that Tesla for a few months, and I have the autopilot, which is badly named. It's really a good driver assist. But I use it all the time. We drove to San Francisco to see The Lion King on Thursday night. That was a lot of fun. And I let the Tesla drive us down, only on the freeway. I let it change lanes. You can change lanes if you signal. When we get to an on-ramp or a tricky place, I would usually take over. And that's the thing, you really have to stay alert, and you're still driving the vehicle because there are times when the road curves and the Tesla doesn't, and things like that. Not very often, but I think it's really important that you not just kind of go to sleep or read a book. You're paying attention. Nevertheless, it does take some of the stress out of it. And I wish I'd had it during my commute years, 11 years going back and forth in San Francisco, and it would have really been a lifesaver, especially just the adaptive cruise control, the stopping and the starting would have been so much easier. So I've come to appreciate it, both its good parts, but also its perils, and to know how to use it. And I think if you use it wisely, not as a self-driving vehicle, but as an assist, it's a very good tool.
Precisely. It's not an autonomous system per se. It's a system that keeps you from doing something really bad.
Yeah.
That's how it's to be.
Well, and if a car ahead of me, even if it's 100 feet down the road, stops suddenly and I haven't slowed down, it will let me know.
Precisely.
And that is fabulous. I really appreciate that. Well, I'm glad you got to go to the LA Auto Show, and we're going to have a special based on this.
We do. Just go to twit.tv/specials. We're also going to do a segment of it on know-how. I actually got a chance to sit in Toyota's brand new, currently available. You can actually go out and buy one of these. It's a hydrogen fuel cell vehicle.
Wow. Where do you get the hydrogen fuel cells?
Well, there are fill-up stations here and there. Essentially, think of it as an upgraded Prius, but instead of an internal combustion engine providing the power, it's a fuel cell. So there's still a battery bank of lithium-ion cells.
How long is the fuel cell good for?
You can go, 300 miles.
So you charge it at home and drive around. See, I would never use gas because I always charge it. I don't have a gas assist in my Tesla. So you just learn how far you can go, and you make sure you charge it. This would be kind of like just in case.
Precisely. It's one of those anxiety stoppers. So if you charge this every night and you use it as your commuting vehicle, you'd never need the hydrogen. But it's there if you need it.